Squid Game. How delightfully they dressed up good old-fashioned human desperation in children's games and neon tracksuits. A deceptively playful title masking a scathing critique of modern society. Like a chandelier made of razor blades, it sparkles with entertainment while cutting deep into our collective conscience. The show transforms childhood nostalgia into a mirror reflecting our own complicity in the games of survival we play daily, albeit with less dramatic consequences and more subtle elimination rounds we call career advancement and social mobility. How it makes us root for players in a game we'd condemn in reality, much like how we cheer for corporate success stories while conveniently ignoring the human cost of cutthroat capitalism. It's rather like serving a 5-course meal of bitter truth garnished with enough sugar to make it not just palatable, but addictively consumable. Squid Game Season 1 presents a compelling examination of human behavior and social systems through the framework of survival games. The series uses childhood games as a metaphor to explore themes of economic disparity, moral choice, and the human capacity for both compassion and cruelty under pressure. The show raises important questions about the impact of financial desperation on human behavior, the relationship between choice and circumstance, how entertainment and violence intersect in modern media, the role of social structures in perpetuating inequality. The series masterfully interweaves several major themes: financial desperation and economic inequality. The 456 players represent various forms of financial struggle, from gambling debts to family obligations. The massive prize money, 45.6 billion won, acts as both salvation and corruption. Players' economic backgrounds directly influence their decision-making and alliances. Choice and moral degradation. The initial choice to play is presented as voluntary, but economic coercion makes it essentially forced. Each game forces increasingly difficult moral choices. Relationships form and break based on strategic necessity rather than genuine connection. Violence and entertainment. The VIPs represent the voyeuristic consumption of others' suffering. Childhood games are perverted into deadly spectacles. The contrast between playful aesthetics and brutal violence serves as commentary on entertainment media. Social structures and power. The hierarchy among players mirrors broader social inequalities. The masked staff represent another layer of economic exploitation. The system is designed to pit players against each other rather than their true oppressors. Humanity under pressure. Characters reveal their true nature when pushed to extremes. Some maintain their humanity, like Ji-hun, while others completely abandon it, like Sang-woo. Trust and betrayal become currencies as valuable as the prize money itself. Gender and age dynamics. Female characters like Sabayok face additional challenges and discrimination. The elderly Oil Nam, before his reveal, demonstrates how age affects social value. Young characters like Ji-young represent lost potential and innocence. The relationship between Oil Nam and Ji-hun, it's a masterful commentary on how wealth views poverty. The old man literally creates a playground of death to feel something, treating human desperation as his personal entertainment. But what's truly chilling is how this reflects reality. The ultra-wealthy often turn other struggles into a form of entertainment or charitable sport. The Marble Game episode perfectly encapsulates this. Just when we think we're watching a straightforward survival game, it transforms into an intimate exploration of betrayal. Pairs who bonded over several episodes are forced to essentially con each other to survive. It's rather like modern corporate culture, isn't it? We build work families only to compete for promotions or survive layoffs. And those pink-suited guards, there's a brilliant layer there too. They're just another class of desperate people, only slightly better off than the players. They enforce the rules of a game that would just as easily destroy them, much like middle management enforcing policies that ultimately harm their own class interests. The games themselves grow increasingly complex in their moral weight. Red light, green light, simple survival. Honeycomb, individual skill under pressure. Tug of war, team cooperation and betrayal. Marbles, direct personal betrayal. Glass bridge, sacrificing others for personal gain. Squid Game, raw, primal confrontation. Each game strips away another layer of social pretense, revealing how civilization is often just a thin veneer over our survival instincts. The VIPs are particularly intriguing. They're deliberately portrayed as almost cartoonishly decadent and crude. It's as if their wealth has made them not just morally bankrupt, but intellectually and culturally impoverished as well. They can't even appreciate the sophisticated cruelty of their own game. They just want to see who dies next. Think about the way color psychology is weaponized throughout the series. The childish pastel colors of the facility and the players' green tracksuits create this perverse sense of innocence. Meanwhile, the hot pink-suited guards and their geometric masks feel like they've walked straight out of a twisted kindergarten classroom. It's psychological manipulation through aesthetic dissonance, like serving poison in a candy wrapper. The numbering system is particularly insidious. Reducing humans to numbers 456, 218, 067, etc. isn't just about dehumanization. It's about creating a false sense of equality. Everyone gets a number, everyone wears the same clothes, everyone plays the same games. It's the ultimate dark parody of equal opportunity, except some players know the games in advance. Some are physically stronger, and some come in with pre-made alliances. Sound familiar to our meritocratic society? Ali's arc, the foreign worker who is consistently exploited despite his strength and kindness. His tragic end comes not from physical weakness, but from trusting in a system of honor among desperate people. The show brilliantly demonstrates how social capital and street smarts, educated cunning, often triumph over raw talent and honest work. The glass bridge game is perhaps the most brutal metaphor. It literally shows how success in the system requires stepping on others to move forward. The more people who die before you, the easier your path becomes. Yet the game is still ultimately rigged. Even the glass expert's knowledge is rendered useless when the organizers dim the lights. It's a perfect illustration of how systems of power can change the rules whenever too many people start figuring them out. And there's something particularly telling about how the show ends. Ji-hun's transformation from desperate gambler to winner doesn't free him. It paralyzes him. For an entire year, he can't touch the money or move forward. Because winning a broken system doesn't fix the system. It just makes you complicit in its perpetuation. Why this Korean series resonated so powerfully across cultural boundaries. The timing of its release during the pandemic created a perfect storm of relevance. Here we all were, trapped in our homes, watching a show about people trapped in a facility, both scenarios driven by financial and social pressures. The isolation, the desperation, the feeling of being caught in games with rules we didn't create. It hit uncomfortably close to home. The show's global success itself became a kind of meta-commentary on its themes. Netflix, a streaming giant, profited immensely from a show criticizing capitalism and exploitation. Viewers binged episodes about the commodification of human suffering while merchandise, Halloween costumes, and even real-world recreations of the games, minus the death, proliferated. The irony was almost too perfect. We turned a critique of commodification into a commodity. The game's simplicity was key to its universal appeal. Everyone understands red light, green light, or tug-of-war. This accessibility made the horror more immediate. It's like taking the familiar toys of childhood and revealing them as instruments of torture, a metaphor for how adult life can corrupt our most innocent memories. Look at how fan behavior mirrored the show's themes. People divided into teams, Team Sang-woo versus Team Ji-hun. Created elaborate theories and predictions, mirroring the players' strategizing. Competed for social media attention with Squid Game content. Even actual companies started using Squid Game themes in their marketing. We became willing participants in our own version of the game, all while critiquing the system it represents. We were simultaneously the players and the VIPs watching it all unfold. The show's greatest achievement isn't just its critique of capitalism. It's how it forced us to confront our own participation in these systems of exploitation. We watched Ji-hun's moral struggle while scrolling on phones made in questionable labor conditions. We condemned the VIPs while consuming entertainment based on real-world suffering. We root for players to beat the system while contributing to a streaming platform that's become a system of its own. The real masterstroke? The final frame of Ji-hun turning back from the plane. That moment transcends the personal revenge narrative. It becomes about conscious rejection of complicity. He chooses to fight the game rather than escape it, even when escape is the easier option. The show's success guaranteed a second season, turning even this act of defiance into content for further consumption. And so, like Ji-hun at the airport, we're all left with a choice. Do we keep playing the game while knowing its true nature, or do we turn back and try change it? It showed us a dystopia. It's that it revealed we're already living in one, just like every ordinary person in the Cultural Revolution movement in Liu Cixin's work 3 Bodies novel. The question isn't whether we'll play the game. We already are. The question is whether, like Ji-hun, we'll have the courage to turn back and face it. Survival, choice, inequality, a dramatic exploration of human nature under extreme circumstances, examining social inequality through the lens of childhood games turned deadly. A pastel-painted maze where capitalism plays hide and seek with morality, while childhood innocence dances with adult despair in perfect choreography. We're all players and viewers in an endless game of our own making. Now that's a game worth playing, isn't it?